people already spoken with me. For all, I am Srinivas. I am a SQL Server, MSBA and PowerBI and Azure trainer and developer. So currently I am working in, previously I worked for Wipro, for a Microsoft client and MR, and I worked for TCS for Microsoft. I worked for Accenture for Bank of America and Broadridge. So I have almost 5+ years of experience. I don't want to tell like I have 10 years, 15 years. I have 5+ years of experience, and from last 4 years I have been giving a training on SQL, MSBA, and from last 2 years I have been giving a training on PowerBI as an independent trainer. That is about my professional and trainer experience. And all this, like I used to give only the corporate trainings and online trainings. So recently we started a company in Hyderabad which is dedicated to only Microsoft technologies. Like we want to provide Azure related services and Azure related training. So we started a company in Hyderabad like 1 month back. So all these, as I said, all these trainings are online. All the classes will be recorded, and the recorded videos will be shared with you people with a read-only access for your future reference. So that is about myself and how the trainings are going on. So you people no need to write down running notes, or I will not dictate anything, and I will not give any PPTs presentations. So we'll try to cover maximum topics with the help of oral discussion and explanation. Okay, so we'll not complete like 10% and we'll leave 90%. We'll try to complete 95%, and if whatever not possible, that is what we are going to leave. So everything will be taken care. So that is about a course outline, and regarding Power BI, what it is, what we are going to cover, what you require, how is the market, and everything I will explain as part of this session. From tomorrow onwards, fine Ranjit. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with the Power BI desktop. Technical sessions will be start from tomorrow, but today I will give the all information regarding the Power BI and relevant information which are required to become a Power BI architect, or you can consider as a scope of a Power BI. So we are good to start. So before starting, like speaking regarding that Power BI and its architecture, Power BI is a visualization tool. Visualization tool from a Microsoft. What is a visualization tool, or what is a reporting tool? What is that concept is? We have a concept of reporting. Reporting is nothing but representing the data in the form of a visualization or proper structure. So whatever the data which is available in the form of a database, we are going to represent that data with the help of visualizations to the business users, or to the users or business, whoever. So instead of giving the access on a database with the help of a third party medium, we are giving the data based on their needs. So for that, there are lot of tools are there. SSRS, the Power BI, ClickQ, Tableau, Crystal reports, Jasper reports. Like that, there are hundreds of tools are there. What is the concept of the tool is, it acts as a intermediary medium between a database and a user. With the help of the tool, a developer can read the data and structure it and share it with the user. Like we are used to see like many reports. Even you can see the payslip. A payslip is a report. Like for each record, in the database, it is going to generate a separate payslip for different users. Okay, so some reports are based on a structure like printable format, like header and footer, page numbers. We are going to print the reports and you are going to use it. Some reports are interactive purpose, where you are going to use the visualizations, where like Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, MicroStrategy. We are going to interact with the visualizations and we are going to see the insights of it. Whatever, I don't want to classify at that place. On a high level, a reporting tool will act as a medium or which will interact with the data and create a visualizations or create a reports. So why? Because we are unable to, we should not give the access to the users on our database to write a queries, or we cannot ask the business users or a management, come and write your SQL queries whatever you want to see the insights. And even though they are technically good, they don't know the database schemas and everything. So as a reporting developer, we are creating the queries whatever they want and we are automating them and we are representing through a report. So whenever they want, they will log in and they will see the KPIs, the YTDs, MTDs, and the dimension ways, the values, everything. So for that, in order to see the status of a business, we have a reporting tools concept is there. To represent the data in the form of visualizations, we have a reporting tool is there. In that, Power BI is one of the reporting tool or visualization tool. Power BI from a Microsoft. So Power BI means, like, Power BI is nothing but it's a combination of a three plugins or three tools. Those are Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View. So Power BI consists of three things: Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View. Power Pivot, with the help of a Power Pivot, we can do the data modeling. So what it is, how it is going to help us is, by using Power Pivot, we can connect the data sources and load the tables into Power BI and create relationships, which is nothing but a modeling, dimensional modeling people call it. So we are going to create relationships and create measures or fields. Different tools have different names, like measures are calculated measures, comma, fields, and new columns. So Power BI consisting of three components. One is Power Pivot. With the help of that, what you can do is you can connect with any source: Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Teradata, Excel, whatever. We can connect with a source. After that, you can load whatever the tables you want into Power BI. Then after, you can do your data modeling. And data modeling is nothing but creating relationships and creating a measures and creating a columns. This all can be done with the help of a Power Pivot. Okay. So that is what Power Pivot is going to do. The next one is Power Query. Power Query is nothing but, on a high level, it can do all SQL operations with user interface. You don't need to write SQL code. Like you have a user interface for a group by, you have user interface for order by, you have user interface for having, you have user interface for joins, set operators, everything you have user interface. So all the SQL operations you can do with the user interface. Why it is there? If you are coming from MSBI background or any other BI background, you know the proper framework. We are going to have the data in a database, you feel, and you are going to write your SQL queries and you can load the data. But a new person adopting a Power BI, he don't know anything about SQL. From where, and he has the data in Excel, where he is going to write a queries. So, or if he is loading the data from one API and he don't have any databases, okay, or web source he is loading, they don't have a databases. They are not from a big companies, or they don't have the things. They are a small businesses. They want to see the data in a Power BI. They don't have a database. At that time, they load the data. After loading the data will not be available for a modeling. If you want to do modeling, what you require? One to many relation or one to one required. Sometimes it might be many to many also will be there. Sometimes in a more granular way it will be there. Sometimes it will be in the form of a pivoted, which you require unpivoted. Sometimes it is required in the unpivoted. It will be available in unpivoted format, but for your report you require a pivoted format. So data might or might not be available in the form of in the required format for a modeling. So at that time you need to tune the data according to the required format. So this Power Query will help you to transform your data according to modeling requirements. So it is an optional case. If you are following a best practice, you will not touch this one. If you are loading the data in a Power BI, without any databases, or if you don't have the access on a database, at that time you need to touch the Power Query and you are going to convert your data. You need to tune the data for your modeling needs if required. So Power Query can perform a transformations. It can perform a transformation. Transformations are nothing basic SQL transformations it can do. Transformations. So that is what Power Query. And Power View. So once you load the data, once you model the data, if you want to represent your visualizations, you have a concept called Power View. By this, we can create reports or visualizations with the help of a Power View. So these are the three components which are available in a Power BI. Power BI is nothing but it's a combination of three components, that is Power Pivot, Power Query and a Power View. Power Pivot to connect sources and load the data, do a modeling. Power Query, if required, we are going to do some transformations. Then after, with the help of a Power View, we are going to showcase the visualization. We are going to create a visualizations. So this is the concept of Power BI. Now, till here any questions? Arup, Bala, Ranjit?
Srinivas,
if Ranjit or Bala is speaking, I am unable to hear.
Srinivas, able to hear me? Hello?
If you don't mind, you people are speaking.
Srinivas, are you able to hear me?
Now you able to hear me?
Hello?
One second. So I am unable to hear.
Srinivas, what about me? This is Ranjit. Hello.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me now?
Now I can.
Yeah, Ranjit. Srinivas, from my side, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay, fine.
Srinivas, how about me?
To hear you.
Are you able to hear me now?
One second. Yes, I can hear everyone. I can hear everyone. And anyone has any question up to here?
Yeah, Srinivas. Power Query is nothing but, to be simple, it is a transformations in the SSIS, right?
Why SSIS came into picture?
No. For my understanding, I'm from SSIS background, so
Yeah,
Power Query is not.
Yes, it is kind of, even SSIS also having a normal transformations only, like aggregations, group by, pivoting, so like that only.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Srinivas. Sangram here.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to hear?
I can.
Yeah. So I have query like I just want to know. We have SSRS, right?
Hmm.
So why Microsoft has introduced Power BI? So
Okay.
is it a specific reason?
I will tell you. Like in next 10 minutes, we are going to cover that point also.
Okay, fine. And one more thing, the application which we download from the website, the
Hmm.
Power BI desktop, that is the Power BI desktop. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
so means are there any different flavors of that Power BI application? Means it is they have written as a Power BI desktop. So is there any Power BI wave or Power BI something like that?
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things are there. The immediate topic is that one only.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
then no query from my side.
Okay, fine. So that is what like Power BI contains three things. Now Power BI having a different flavors. Those are Power BI flavors. So Power BI is available in different formats. Those are Power BI desktop, Power BI service, Power BI mobile.
Hey, hi Srinivas, Sangram here. Whenever you're typing message, there is a big sound is coming.
Okay,
Means
fine.
because we are in, yeah.
Now it is fine. Okay. So these are the different flavors that we have as part of Power BI. And the first thing is the Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop, it is going to consisting of these three things: the Power Pivot, Power Query, and the Power View. And we, it is we can download from a Power BI site, and it's a free, unlimited. So you can use it any number of days by downloading from a Power BI site, and it consisting of these three things: Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. And whenever you download and install, and whenever you connect to the sources, done a data modeling and creating a visualizations, then after it has some limitations. The limitations are, so whatever the report that you created, you cannot schedule an automated refresh in a Power BI desktop. Whenever you want, you need to refresh it manually. So scheduled refresh is not there. And then after, you cannot create a dashboards over here, and you cannot get a subscriptions or alerts or printing. You cannot do all those things as part of Power BI desktop, and no dashboards also. No dashboards, no subscriptions, alerts, printing, and then after sharing from a Power BI desktop independently, you cannot share anything. So whatever the report that you created in a Power BI desktop by loading 1 GB or 2 or 2 GB of data, once the report is created, if you want to share it with that, so a file which contains a 500 MB or 1 GB, you cannot share it, or image, it will accept only 20 MB or 30 MB. So even if you want to share it, the PBI file, it will having a lot of data, You cannot share that file. So sharing is an issue in Power BI desktop. These are the limitations with respect to Power BI desktop. Then after, we have a concept called Power BI service. Abhinay, now you are able to hear me. Is it? The Power BI service is nothing but SaaS, software as a service, or we used to call it as the Power BI Pro. Okay, so it's a web-based server, web-based servers maintained by Microsoft. It is a web-based server maintained by Microsoft, and it is for deployment purpose. Okay, so whatever the reports that you created, we are deploying in a Power BI service. So that will deploy the report here and create dashboards, and then after it will allow you to provide a sharing option. So it is kind of, you can consider it the staging, like we are going to move your report to Power BI service. From there onwards, you can share it with multiple people, whomever you want. So sharing, security, subscriptions, or alerts, or export options, everything is available as part of Power BI service. So it is 2 months free for Office 365 users. Whoever has the Outlook account, like Office 365 account, they can subscribe the Power BI service for 2 months. Then after, they can extend it to another 4 months of time, almost 6 months you can use it. And after that, per month it's a 10 USD. So this is the capability or the functionality of a Power BI service, and it contains Power View. So Power BI desktop contains a Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, and a Power BI service contains a Power View. Okay, with the help of Power View, what you can do, you can create a visualization. I said you can understand in a coming time, in next 15 minutes, why Power View is available here. You can understand. Okay, so this is the concept of Power BI service. It's a web-based server which is maintained by the Microsoft. Okay, as I said yesterday evening, so it's kind of a Google Drive or a OneDrive. Abhinay, able to hear me or not? You can message me. Okay, fine. So as I said, like it is kind of a functionality which Google Drive or OneDrive is providing. You are going to upload a file into Google Drive. From there, you can share it with multiple people. Okay, so like that, here also, like Power BI, it is a software as a service, which everything is going to taken care by the Microsoft, and you are going to organize your files with the different folders, and you can share that to file level option or folder level option. So however you have a Google Drive options, here also we have a similar functionalities are there. Okay, so that is what Power BI service, which contains a Power View. The next one is Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile is nothing but it's a mobile based application. It's a mobile app which you can download from a Play Store or App Store, whatever the store, based on your mobile platform, and we can access the dashboards and reports from anywhere. With the help of this app, what you can do is from anywhere you can access your reports and dashboards. Like with the help of this, you can access your reports and dashboards from anywhere. And most of the people don't know that it is not a mobile native development environment, but with the help of a Power BI, you can develop the application with respect to mobile. Some people will tell that, boss, whatever you developed in Power BI desktop or service, that will be displayed as part of Power BI mobile. That will not display. That will looks ugly whenever you create a report. What we need to do is, with respect to mobile, you need to convert your report in a Power BI desktop. With respect to mobile, you need to convert your dashboard with respect to mobile. Then only you will see a proper mobile based report. Let's assume if you are working for a product based company, okay, and your reports are seen by the management, and they anyways they will not see from a desktop, they will see from iPads or iPhones. Okay, whenever you are creating a report, if you develop a report and if you share it and you feel it like they can see however you are seeing, that will not be displayed properly. With respect to mobile, we need to do some configuration in a desktop and service both, then only a proper visualization they can see in a Power BI mobile. So that we are going to cover as part of our course. But here, mobile, as it is a separate entity, Power BI mobile is nothing but from here you can access the reports and dashboards from anywhere. So that is what Power BI mobile. And Power BI gateways, gallery, all those things will be covered as part of Power BI service. I just mentioned, if you type it as part of Wikipedia or somewhere, people will showcase that Power BI gateways and all, but those are nothing but as part of service the gateways need to be covered. So those are not separate entities. And next one is Power BI report server. So before continuing to the Power BI report server, I have a question from Abhinay. So if you are deploying app on a pro our services, how data will be secured? If you deploy app and it goes live and there say it will be visible to others who are in online. Okay, so data security generally, if you host your data in a cloud, that you might feel that it might be a security issue, but Microsoft will take care of that security. But there are some people, yes, the people who are working for other technologies, they might or they might not trust, and they will say that my clients will not agree for that, like if you move the data in a cloud. For that we have a Power BI report server concept is there. So if you feel that, boss, my data is a confidential, I don't want to push it into Microsoft cloud, so then they are saying that, boss, you have a Power BI report server is there. You can create a reports in the Power BI desktop and deploy it in your report server, which is nothing but internal on-premise server. From there, all the people, like it is kind of SSRS server or ClickQ server or Tableau server. So you are going to create a reports and you are going to deploy it as part of your Power BI report server. Within the network, all the people can see it. That is one option. If we are not trusting the Microsoft, so we can use Power BI report server. If you don't require the reports wanted to access from outside environment and you don't have that much budget, or you don't have a trust on a Microsoft, whatever the reason, what you can do is within the network you can deploy it and people can able to access that reports. For that we have a Power BI report server is there. It is on-premise report server. On-premise report server, here you can deploy and create your reports. So on this category it is supporting a Power BI paginated reports also. Okay, that is what Power BI report server for on-premise deployments. And Power BI embedded. So Power BI embedded is nothing but one of the sharing medium. Okay, let's assume this is another answer for like Abhinay. So let's assume you create a report and you deployed a report. Then after, like there is another consideration that you don't have a budget, or you don't want to share your model with anyone. Let's consider a scenario. As I know Power BI, I analyzed the market and I found that in this area, if I create a Power BI report and if I made it as a product and if I sell it, I will get a money if I feel. So I will develop a model, and if I sell it to the customer with my model, what they will do? They will modify the model, they will sell it to the others. Okay, or they will not come to me for maintenance. So I have a plan which can click in the market, but if I delivered it, that can be used by the many people and I may not get the money whatever I'm expecting. So what I need to do? I need to sell the product without sharing my code, without sharing my model. What I can do is, I can embed my code or my model in a service, and I will sell that service to them. I will sell that, boss, if you purchase a Power BI service, like if you use it as part of Power BI service, if you have 10 users, per month you need to spend $600. Okay, so like for 10 users, it's $100, which is nothing but a 6,000 per month, 60,000 per year. So instead of spending that, so use my web service URL and embed it as part of your college website or within your network, embed it, I will say. So my code will be not going to share, and at the same time we are going to save the money to them. So Power BI embedded is nothing but one of the sharing medium. Without a Power BI service, you can share it with the users. The users, whoever consuming your report, they require a Power BI service account. But I don't have that budget. But my report wanted to share it with them also. So then what I can do? I can do an embedding concept. I will embed this report in another HTML page or something. I will share it with them so that they can interact. But they cannot access the dashboard, that is another thing. But report they can able to access it. So that is what a Power BI embedded for. So we are going to embedding a Power BI reports and we are going to share it with the users. That's it. And Power BI Premium, it is for organizations regarding the licensing. Okay, instead of purchasing one-on-one licenses, you can purchase a number of licenses, and like cloud storage, it is for organization level, it is not with respect to a developer level. So these are the different flavors which are available as part of. So Power BI embedded we are doing in HTML means we can do in HTML, but which is not only the limited, you can do in Azure also. There are different places where you can embed your report. Okay, you can do in HTML also. Like we are going to generate embed code in Power BI service, and you can place it as part of normal HTML file. In that HTML file, you can see your report. If you share that HTML file to anyone, they can see your report. You can do in a multiple places, but HTML also one of the place you can do it as part of your .NET page or PHP page, wherever. So these are the different flavors of Power BI. Power BI desktop, which contains a Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, everything, and a Power BI service, which is for mainly like maintaining your projects, organizing your projects, and sharing and creating a dashboards and implementing the security, everything. Power BI service. Power BI mobile to consume your reports or dashboards from anywhere, and Power BI reports, it is for on-premise deployments. If you don't want to move it into cloud, or if you want a paginated reports, you want a printable format of a reports. So at that time you can go ahead with the Power BI report server. And Power BI embedded, this concept is to embed the report in any other application. And Power BI Premium, as I said, it's for a organizations, it is not for a developer perspective. Okay, so these are the different flavors of Power BI which is available in the market. So if you like, if anyone looking for a job, if they know Power BI desktop and service, that is more than sufficient to make it out of these flavors. So till here, anyone has any questions? Arup, Bala, Ranjit, Sangaram, any questions up to here?
Srinivas, one question here.
Go ahead, sir.
Is Power BI report server is on live right now with the current version of the Power BI?
Yes, it is available. It is available from June 1st last year. It has been there from the last 6 months.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Arup, any questions? Sangram?
No, not really.
Okay. Yes. So another point I forgot to add, like Abhinay reminded me. So Power BI service, even though you purchase with 10 USD per a month, it has a capacity of a 10 GB only. It can play with a maximum of a 10 GB. Even you are working for a top level organization, even though you purchase a Power BI license, like you can access, you can load a maximum of a 10 GB, or however Google Drive supports a 15 GB, it can support only 10 GB. In that 10 GB also, each report can have maximum of a 2 GB. So if your report contains more than 2 GB, even your Power BI service will not help you. Okay. So, but you might feel that in a live environment we have a data like more than 50 GB, more than 1 TB also will have the data. There are some reports where we are going to query on the database and we are going to fetch the data like SSRS or MicroStrategy. Rendering will be happen whenever you want to consume it. So here the best practice is important. How you are going to define your architecture is important. That we'll discuss later. But Power BI service is having the capacity of a 10 GB. In that each data set can have a maximum of a 2 GB only. And if you have more than 2 GB, it will not work out. Now, the nice question is the size of a database is 1 GB for a database and 10 GB for Power BI. How to take care of this? So in order to take care, we need, as I said, we need to follow the best practice. I will tell you what is the best practice. So these are the different levels. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I would query like, okay, so suppose my database it's around 5 to 10 GB and it is on one server, and let's say I'm creating some visualization into Power BI. Okay, so how exactly it will work? Will it take means this is Power BI will be only UI, right? It will not be storing any data, or it will be storing data.
It can store the data. It can store the data up to 2 GB.
Okay, means up to 2 GB I can save data on in the Power BI, which will be in the cloud, right?
Yes.
Okay, and if I want to use Power BI just for visualization, I don't want to store any data, that will be achievable?
That is achievable. That is the best practice.
Okay, but then means why we have limit like 10 GB and all that?
Why you have a limit is as it is a cloud-based one, and if it allows and if everyone is pushing the data there, okay, so like it is the impact on a Microsoft, okay, and like let's assume if you push 10 TB in a cloud, like you all the developers pushing the data, so like it is the Microsoft who is managing that one, and they have their algorithms for securities and maintenance for everything. It will impact the complete storage of a Microsoft cloud storage.
Okay,
And
so
they suggested us a live connection options with the databases. So they suggested a best practices. So if we follow that one, your 10 GB limit is not at all a matter. You can work with the 5 TB also.
yes. Yes,
So
if I'm storing data on my server, then there will not be any issue.
yes, if you keep your data as part of a tabular server, and if you are establishing a live connection, you can see the live data and you don't have that an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So
I need to have some secure connection from that Power BI to my database, right?
you will be provided with a secure connection.
Okay.
So you will be provided
How that connects? I mean, how I can establish that connection?
through a gateway. There is a concept called gateways. So gateway is the one which is going to take care of that security of your data, and it is the mediator to transfer the data between your server and a Power BI cloud.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. So Vinay, like I will tell the answer for that one. Where is the good to develop an app on a desktop or a service? Is it based on the size of data? I will answer the question. Okay. So the next one is, so these are the different flavors of a Power BI, and before continuing further, there might be some people, or the video is going to listen by some people later time. They will ask a question that, boss, I came to the class for changing my job or switching a technology. How much experience I can keep it? They will have that question first, more than all these things. Okay, so understand the history of Power BI. Power BI official age is almost 2.5 years. Official release was done on June 2015. 2015, and from 2015 to 2017 and 2018, 2.5 years officially it was launched. As I said, even most of the companies, they don't have a panel to do an interview on a Power BI even today. Most of the companies, they don't have a panel to do a Power BI interview even today. And most of the companies still they are doing a POCs only. Most of the companies. There are the companies who are started working, and there are the companies who started working and shut down Power BI also, because they don't know the Power BI. So official age is 2.5 years, and here unofficially it has been there over the last 9 years of time. Okay, if you are good at Power BI desktop, service, mobile, if you are good at Power Pivot, Power Query and Power View, those three concepts, you can go ahead with keeping 5 years or 6 years experience also. I will tell you how it is. So in Excel 2009, we have a concept was introduced, Power Pivot as a add-in. In Excel 2007 itself, we have a Power BI came. Like Power Pivot is there as part of Excel. And in a 2012 Excel, Power View is introduced. From 2012 onwards, we have a Power View. You might have heard the name called MIS reporting or Advanced Excel or Excel based reporting. That is nothing but a Power View. In 2013, we have Power Query is introduced. So initially that was named as a Data Explorer. Then after that is named as a Power Query, which is introduced by 2013. So whatever I said called Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View are available by 2013 itself, which means 5 years or 4+ years it has been there. Okay, and you have by 2013 itself, you have a Power Query, Power View, Power Pivot, and it has some limitations. Whatever I explained as part of Power BI desktop, the limitations are there. Whatever the report that you created in Excel, you cannot share it because it is having a huge amount of data, and you cannot perform an automated refresh. So what they done is, in January 2015, they introduced a Power BI service with a SharePoint. So like they allowed us to share your reports in a SharePoint, and it worked fine. It worked perfectly alright. So then after, in June 2015, they released an independent app, which is nothing but a Power BI desktop without need of any Excel. They separated these three things. Separated means still in Excel we have those things, but those three things together, they created another app which they called as a Power BI desktop, which is launched in June 2015, which is nothing but, it's not a new one which is launched. It has been there from a long time. They made those things together and they released it as a Power BI desktop in June 2015. So if someone asks you, you can tell that, boss, I have a 5 years experience on a Power BI, okay, or I have a 5 years of experience on MIS reporting. No one is going to question you, like why it is came 2.5 years back, why you are saying 5 years. You can say that MIS reporting, I have 5 years of experience. That's it. And I am very good at DAX and very good at SSAS. So you can qualify for that interview and you can go ahead and take care of that interview. So this was the history. And if someone called Bala or anyone, boss, we are from MSBA background, I don't know anything about Excel means. In SQL Server 2012, we have a concept introduced which is nothing but a tabular SSAS. Tabular SSAS was introduced in a SQL Server 2012, which is nothing but a Power Pivot version of SQL Server. So, in a 2012 itself, the tabular SSAS came. So, in a Power BI, 90% what we require is tabular SSAS only. So that was came 5 years back. You can say that, boss, from last 5 years I have been working on a tabular models. I am very good at a DAX. That is sufficient to say you are a 5 years experienced person. So tabular SSAS is nothing but Power Pivot only. Power Pivot only. And you don't require a Power Query. Why? Because you already expertised in SQL. And Power View. Power View, you can generate a reports, SSRS reports in a tabular server, or you can work with Excel to work on that Power View. So the main thing of modeling was done, like available in 2012 itself. So you can keep up to 5 to 6 years of experience blindly. You can keep up to 6 years of experience on these concepts like SSAS and DAX. And in the market also, they are not looking for that much. Even though you are a 10 years experienced person, if you are good at SSAS and DAX, even though you have a 1 year experience, they don't care. So they will say that, boss, we require SSAS, DAX, Power BI and the basics on Azure. You are a Microsoft Cloud Architect, that's it. Your experience might be a testing, your experience might be mainframes or BO or something, whatever. If you are good at SSAS, DAX, Power BI, and if you understood what is the best practice, or if you understood about a framework, that is more than sufficient, you can crack the job. As I said, there is no, even most of the companies, they don't have a panels, they don't have the experienced people on a tabular SSAS and DAX, all these areas. This is what a history of a Power BI. Anyone has any questions on it?
Hey, hi, Sangram here. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, so currently we have other visualization tool like Tableau, MicroStrategy we have in market. So why one customer would choose Power BI? So I just from the future perspective, I just want to know.
Yeah, so you know that MicroStrategy is there. So can you tell me the license of a MicroStrategy cost per one user? What is the cost of MicroStrategy?
No, I don't know.
It's a 1500 USD for one user. So 1500 USD is a per one user cost, and a Tableau is a 70 USD per one user cost per month. I am not sure on that one, but MicroStrategy I know. Why? Because my team is dedicatedly working on a MicroStrategy. We are moving the MicroStrategy to Power BI. So MicroStrategy license per one user license, it's a 1500 USD. So here Power BI cost is 10 USD. And Power BI supports a functionality similar to MicroStrategy. Even Tableau will not support that kind of functionality, but Power BI supports a dashboard functionality similar to MicroStrategy, which is a 10 USD per user. And if you don't want to spend that 10 USD also, you have embedding concept is there. Okay, it's a very cheap product which is having a more advanced features which will support you to connect a 50 sources. And what exactly the feature I am going to tell in next 2 minutes of time. Okay, so immediately I am rolling out for the differences between SSRS and a Power BI. I don't want to compare with MicroStrategy or a Tableau and all those things. Like we have SSRS and Power BI. Both are from Microsoft. Why you have two things? Yes. The first one is I will close the class in next 15 or 20 minutes of time. As it is a demo, need to cover all. It will extend for another 15 to 20 minutes. So differences between the SSRS and Power BI. SSRS. So here the reports are static and a read-only reports. So whatever the reports that you develop and deploy, then after once the user accesses the report, once they're rendered, that is a printable format of a report. That is a read-only copy of a report. If you want to interact, it will not work out. Whatever the developer given, and you need to interact with the report like that, and then after once the report was rendered, so once the data is getting displayed, if you want to play with any visualization, it will not be possible. Okay, so just it's a read-only copy. Whatever the developer showcased, that only you can see. If I want to interact with a bar chart or a pie chart, if I want to drill down on top of it, other than whatever the developer given, it will not work out. Okay, so that is one of the option, like it's a read-only copy. Even a Google Data Studio, there are some reports where there is no interaction will be provided. You can develop or you can design like more beautifully, but the interaction will not be there. The SSRS reports are also like that, and these can be accessed in intranet. So within the network you can access these reports. And here we don't have a concept of dashboard. In a 2014 and 15, like there are a lot of people like who started using a Tableau and a ClickView. Especially that market is like from a 2013 to 15, very good market for everyone. So for MSBI developers, ClickView, Tableau, everyone. At that time also, people used to say that, boss, in a Microsoft SSRS, you don't have a dashboards. In a Tableau, you can create a dashboards, or a ClickView, you can create a dashboards, they used to say. So, because of that, most of the people got hired in Tableau and ClickView also. So, in SSRS reports, we don't have a concept of a dashboard. At that time, or older versions, we don't have dashboard concept. And those can be accessed within the network. Okay. And these are the static and read-only reports, which is having a limited sources support. This is about SSRS. Now, Power BI. These reports are interactive. Interactive means you can click on a bar chart or a pie chart. Whenever you click on a bar chart, the complete report will be get filtered. Whenever you click on a pie chart, the complete report will get filtered. Whenever you click on a table, a row, based on that row, the complete report will get filtered. It's interactive. Whatever the granularity you want to see, or whatever the level that you want to see, you can see the data. You can interact with that report, and it can be accessed anywhere. So as it is a cloud deployed reports, you can access, you don't need to be part of in the network, you can access that reports from anywhere. Okay, so no need to be in the network, you can access from anywhere. And the third one is self-service. This is what the main feature of the Power BI. So Power BI intention is, it is for a business users. It came up with a main caption called Power BI for a business users. Okay, so now it was changed to everything. Initially it is for a business users. So you might know that like all the business users are experts in Excel. Okay, they used to create a Power Pivots, like pivot tables, and they used to create a reports in Excel. They are the masters in Excel. So here it is came for them to make the things easier. So here, what is the functionality of a self-service is, understand that before understanding the self-service, understand what is a dashboard first of all. I might use a concept called dashboard multiple places. What is a dashboard? Is nothing but in Power BI, desktop, let's consider there is a concept called pivoting. What the pivot will do is, it will load the data from different sources. It will load the data from a different sources, and it is going to construct a model, like it is going to load the different tables. It is going to construct a model. On top of it, by default it will come up with a one page, and you can create a multiple pages. You can create report with a multiple pages. So in a Tableau they used to call it as a dashboard, but here, so what we can do is, like once you loaded the data, you can create a model. On top of it, you are going to create a visualizations. You can create a visualizations in each page, and you are going to complete your activity here. I created 4 pages of a report, each page representing a different modules. I created it. Once you create it, then after we are going to publish it in a PowerBI service. So your report will come to the PowerBI service. There we are going to construct a dashboard. What a dashboard contains is, a dashboard contains high level insights of all the pages of a report. So it is going to contain a KPI from here, KPI from here, a KPI from here, and a KPI from here. So it is a high level representation of the KPIs of a different pages of a report. High level metrics or high level visualizations we are going to showcase in a single view, that we used to call it as a dashboard. So whenever you click on it, you will be redirected to this page, and here you can interact with all these things. You have a drop downs, you have a interaction will be there. You can play with the report from that page. Thus, it is kind of a micro-strategy functionality. In a micro-strategy also you have a dashboard like this, and whenever you click on it, it will be take you to the detailed page. There you can interact with that report. So this is what the Power BI dashboard functionality. It is going to contain high level KPIs, and user is going to click on that high level KPI, that will be redirected to the underlying page. There you can interact. That is what a dashboard. I am going to remove this one. Do you have any questions on it? Anyone has any questions?
Hey, hi Srinivas, again Sangram here.
Yes sir.
I have one more query like this. To go into Power BI, I need to have some knowledge of SSRS and MDX. That's what recommended, right?
To go with a Power BI, what required?
Do I need to have knowledge of SSAN and all that? Because companies are usually preferring SSAS with Power BI, right?
That is the best standard. That is what required. Yes. Then?
Yeah. So I need to clear my concepts on SSAS first, and then I should move to Power BI. So is it what I need to follow?
No. See, I said that SSAS means there are two types of SSAS is there. Multi-dimensional and a tabular. Okay. Multi-dimensional, once upon a time, like 2 years back, if you know multi-dimensional, you are a god. How much you ask, you will be paid that much. Okay. Even today, there are no people who don't know that SSAS. So multi-dimensional SSAS we don't require now, or MDX we don't require now. You require tabular SSAS and DAX knowledge required. Tabular SSAS is nothing but a power pivot only. Whatever you are doing the modeling here, that is what we are doing there in SSAS. There is no separate course on, there is no separate concept for SSAS. SSAS is nothing but a power pivot. The power pivot we are learning as part of PowerBI desktop.
Okay.
You don't require that knowledge. That is what we are going to provide here.
Okay.
If we teach only Power View, then you require that one. As you are saying that we teach Power Pivot, which means the tabular SSAS will become automatically. But if you do a modeling here, there are some limitations are there. That's why we are using that. That's it. There is no extra concepts.
Okay. So in near future, there will be combination like SSIS, SSS, and Power BI. So there will
No,
be
not at all. Like in a future, like if you observe, if you observe from the last 6 months, there are no dedicated SSRS openings are there. And whatever the Power BI requirements that they have with MSBI, they are asking because they don't know what to give as a job description for a Power BI. That's why they are mentioning MSBI. But whatever you see like SSIS openings also, that will be reduced, and you will get openings on Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Warehouse, Azure Data Lake. No one is going to ask you. Even today there are very less calls. There are no calls for SSRS. There are no calls for a multi-dimensional SSAS and MDX. Only calls for Power BI, and they are mentioning, some people mentioning MSBI and a tabular SSAS, DAX and SSIS. But in a coming future, SSIS also will be moved out. We have a concept called Azure Data Factory. People will ask you Azure Data Factory. In the entire India, there are no trainers for Azure Data Factory. Okay, and similarly Azure Data Lake. Entire India, there are no trainers for it. But
so it is also Microsoft tool, is it?
Yes, it's a Microsoft tool. It's a equivalent tool for SSIS, Azure Data Factory.
Only for ETL, or it will do reporting as well?
ETL. The equivalent version of SSIS in a cloud version is Azure Data Factory. So if you say that, boss, I know Azure Data Factory, like you don't have any competition, you will get an offer. So I am saying that there are no trainers in the entire India or across other places also. But if you see, there are the openings are not. In Bangalore itself, you will find 100 openings. All the big companies, like if you people are from a 7+ experience, if you say that, boss, I know Power BI, who is going to consider? They will have a people with 3 to 4 years or 5 years. They will not hire you. If they hire, you will be a competitor for them. But some people, they need to move to cloud-based technology and they need to work on a cloud. So there, in a cloud, there is no concept of SSIS. There is a concept of Azure Data Factory, Azure Hive, Azure Stream Analytics, Azure Data Warehouse, Azure Lake, Azure Machine Learning. These are the things, these are the keywords which will help you to get a job as a 7 or 8+ years of experience in people with a very good hike. So for that, in the market there are no trainers are there. For that, we are going to provide some, up to some extent we are going to provide a boosting you people that will teach Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Warehouse, up to 5 to 6 classes. We will teach them and will make you people comfortable that to work on them, or at least to understand what is that one, how to use that one, how to configure that one, the purpose, everything you will understand, and then after you can speak that, boss, I know that one. In the interview panel, no one is there to do an interview, but you can see there are the openings are there or not. In a Hyderabad or a Bangalore, verify Azure Data Factory, or I can showcase the number of openings they are looking for Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake. But even today, most of the people, 8+10 people are coming to me and asking they require MSBI training. That is a shit. What is the scope of Power BI? I will showcase. Okay, at that time you can understand all these things. So I am closing that discussion, and on whatever the diagram that I written. Does anyone has any questions? Abhinay, you can, like your mic is not working. So go ahead, Arup. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Srinivas, do you have any other time slot in the morning, like after 8:30 or something?
So like one batch I'm going to close like before to this like 7:30 to 8:30 this batch is starting, and
Okay.
before to this we have a 6:30 to 7:30 class that is going
Okay.
to close in a week of time. Okay. So
Okay.
once
Okay.
that is done, on that slot we are going to start another batch. And
Okay.
evening at 9 to 10 we are starting another batch. So that is very soon in next 5 days we are going to start. So as I am in Dubai and we have a very good floating, and we require offline trainer and we require a trainer in other times. So that's why yesterday Leka was introduced. Okay. So in order to handle the floating on like in the daytime, so she can give you a classroom training there. So that's why she was introduced.
Okay. For 6:30 class, you will take care, right?
Yeah, early morning, all the classes I will be the trainer. Like morning 6:30 class I am going to take, and this batch, and evening time we are going to start at 9 to 10, or after 9 to 10, whatever the time starts, I will be the trainer.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Abhinay, so Oracle database using a Power BI app development is possible. Is it a good choice, or Azure services are good choice? This is a perfect question. Like wherever you went for an interview, people will ask you, saying that, boss, I have a data in Teradata. I have a data in Oracle. How I can create a Power BI reports? Here, the blind shot answer is, or some people will tell that, boss, I have a data in Azure, like Amazon Web Services, or I have data in another source. What is the best framework to develop a Power BI? Whatever they said, wherever the data is there, you need to have the staging in SQL Server or Azure Data Warehouse or Azure SQL. These are the three sources. You need to get the data there. Then after you need to model it in tabular SSRS. Then after Power BI. This is the blind answer. As part of a course, you will get to know, boss, why you need to stage in SQL Server, why you need to use a tabular SSRS. Everything justifications will come into picture. Whoever called like Power BI architect or Power BI the framework setup, whatever, they need to follow this framework blindly. If they follow this framework, then only the product will be survived. Otherwise, the product will be shut down. Yes, there are many companies that are having the data in Oracle systems. Even my company having the data in Oracle systems. So they don't like Microsoft. Even then, we are pulling the data in Azure data warehouse. We are going to do the tuning there, or converting the data according to the requirement. Then after moving into tabular SSAS, then after we are going to do Power BI reporting. That is what the best practice. Wherever your data source is. And these questions even I faced recently. Even my students from Bangalore, they went for an interview. The chairman take an interview. They asked the same question. I have a data in a mainframe, and what is the best practice? That person unable to tell the answer. Like which the batch we are going to close in next week of time. 8 years experienced person. So he lost the interview. But this is a basic question. So you will get to know the justification, or in the same class you are going to get the justification also. Okay. See, if anyone uses Oracle, yes, people will use Oracle. Even you use Oracle, there is a concept called reusability and storage. There are many flexibilities are there. Power BI, like Microsoft is a, they are not a small people, right? They are showcasing a Power BI to the world, and they are selling a lot of products. Okay. So if you want to use your own database, why SQL Server is there? Why SSAS is there? Why MSBI? Why Azure? Everyone use their own database, right? So they are showcasing Power BI to the market. They are showcasing that boss will support 50 sources, but they are supporting only 4 sources, which is nothing but Azure SQL, Azure SQL Data Warehouse, Azure like normal SQL Server, and analysis services. As a best practice, you need to follow these things. If you are not following these things, you will be stop your development with some limitations. So you will understand those things as part of coming sessions, or in this session I will tell you as part of a scope how to define architecture. Fine. So here dashboard is nothing but this one. I am continuing. So here, what is a self-service is, I said that, like, we are in a discussion of SSRS and Power BI. SSRS there are some limitations, and Power BI. So I said it is interactive and it can be accessed anywhere and a self-service. Understand this concept now. So here, whenever we have data set ready, report ready, and dashboard ready, let's assume. Whenever these are available, user is going to, like, developer is going to share it with the user. The user can interact with the report, can interact with the dashboard, can interact with the report and dashboard. That is fine, that is there everywhere. That might be on-premise or a cloud. As it is a Power BI, it's a cloud. You can interact with them. Along with that, it has a feature that this user can take a copy of that report and a dashboard in his workspace. He can take a copy of it. He can take a copy of it, whatever the report, dashboard and data set. Then after, he can modify the report however he wants. He can modify the dashboard however he wants. Then after, let's assume he don't like your report anything. He can consume the data set and he can create his own report. He can create his own report, or he can create his own dashboard also. With the help of the data set, he can create his dashboard. That is what the self-service. So a user can interact with the developer report and dashboard, and if you don't like it, or if you want to see the data in a different view. So if you consider, the business users understand the business very clearly. At service-based company, a report developer, what he can understand? He cannot understand. Why? Because he is not part of a data modeling. He don't know about the backend database and all those things. He don't know about the modeling. He is going to be part of reporting. Whatever they say, he just drag that. Like whatever the text columns, he will consider as a dimensions. Whatever the measure columns, he is going to consider as a measures. He just drag and drop bar chart, pie chart and all those things. Then after multiple to and fro's will happen, report will be finalized. But the business user knows everything. He has a different views will be there. So the user can see the report and dashboard and he can take a copy of it and he can modify the report and dashboard if required, or he can create his own report and dashboard on the data set that the developer given. So this feature is there as part of Power BI. That is what the self-service. Frankly speaking, in SSRS also we have a self-service, like ad hoc reports are there. Okay, so but like that is for a Power users, but it is for all the users, whoever you shared the content pack, all the users, they can play it. So I need not to be a specific number of users, all the users they can do it. Okay, so this is what self-service. This is one of the very important feature of Power BI. You can access from anywhere. The second one is this one. Now understand a point. This user can access, that is fine. But this user, if you wanted to modify the report and dashboard, or if you want to create a report and dashboard, what he require? If you want to modify the report or if you want to create a report, he require a Power View. Right? I said Power View is nothing but creating a report or modifying a report. So if this user accessing the report from a Power BI service, and if he wanted to modify it, what he require? He require a view. That is why the Power View is there as part of Power BI service. I mentioned, but Power View is there. Power View is there as part of Power BI service. Why? Because the user or a developer can log in from anywhere and he can create a report. He can modify the report. That is the reason the Power View is there. Okay, so this is self-service is one of the feature, and it will support almost 50 plus sources and almost having a 130 plus visualizations. Easy customization is there. Easily you can customize them. Easy customization is there. So Power BI, why you require a Power BI means, yes, you can access from anywhere and you can develop from anywhere, and it supports almost a 50 plus data sources. So self-service to the users. So these are the features of Power BI, and we have a dashboard concept, and SSRS don't have a dashboard, limited sources which you can work with intranet. Those are the SSRS features. Now what to take? You need to take a Power BI or you need to take SSRS. If you are in a position of decision making, or you need to suggest something at that time, if your client is very particular about extracts, which means you need to take a printouts of your report, okay, you need to generate a paginated reports, or you need to create a reports with containing headers and footers. At that time, SSRS is good for now. And Power BI also started giving a paginated reports. But for now, if your client is more particular about the printable reports, which contains headers and footers, proper structure, paginated things, if you want, you can go with SSRS. Or if you want to use any expressions, dynamically enable or disable the things, you require go to SSRS. If you don't have that printability format, or if you are not require paginated reports, or you are not particular about a format. Some people, what do you mean by format is in SSRS report, you are going to generate one tabular report or matrix report with a proper format, background colors and all those things. Whenever a user export, user is looking for the same format, same background colors, footers and everything they want. If the user is particular about it, you must go ahead with SSRS. But if user don't want those things, the user want insights, user want self-service, user want visualizations, interactiveness, at that time the Power BI is the best option. You can consider these two things. The user wants a self-service or interactiveness of the reports or dashboards, then you can use the Power BI. The Power BI supports R, Power BI supports even a Python, so Power BI supports mQuery, Power BI supports, there are machine learning visualizations are there. So you don't need to write any algorithms, you just need to get the data and give it to that visualization. Automatically that is going to represent the data. You can represent the correlations. You can represent many things with respect to data science with the help of a Power BI. Power BI is not simply a replacement for SSRS. Power BI is a solution for a complete Azure products. Okay. So if you are working on a cloud-based solutions, yes, Power BI is the best option. If you want, you have a Power BI report server is there which is going to fulfill your requirements in the future. But SSRS or Power BI as a new company or new project will not go. You might have already existing SSRS reports. So whenever you have that requirement, that specific format requirement, at that time you are going for SSRS. In all other cases, you can go ahead with the Power BI. All the functionalities are available. Drill down, drill through, everything is available. You can make it. So this is how you can take a call with SSRS and Power BI. Or if someone asks you, you are going with a 5 years experience on Power BI because you downloaded a Power BI, you created a couple of visualizations. If you go with a Power BI, if they ask you, boss, why Power BI? You can tell these points, the self-service, or you can access from anywhere and all those things. So this is what the difference between SSRS and Power BI. Anyone has any questions up to here? Sangram. Bala, go ahead.
From my side.
Okay.
No questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Ranjit?
No, Srinivas.
Perfect. So that is what the difference is between the SSRS and Power BI. And the next one is Power BI are generic report framework. So, like I said, there are a lot of reporting tools are there in the market. So, it might be SSRS or Power BI or Tableau or ClickQ. There are 100 plus reporting tools are there. 100 plus reporting tools are there. We might have only 5 or 10 tools, but organizations, there are a lot of reporting tools are there. So here, whatever the reporting tool, there are the minimum things will be there which we need to consider, which we need to understand. If you are good at one reporting tool, automatically the other reporting tool you can learn in 6 days of time. If you have a good expert or good source is there, you can learn in 6 days of time maximum. So there might be some people who don't know anything SSRS or something who came for this class. For them, I'm just giving a heads up. But if you want to become a reporting developer, what you need to do is you need to prepare the data according to requirement. If not ready. As it is a training, not only me, in the market, they will be ready with Excel, proper Excel sheet, proper database. They always use the same thing. They will simply drag and drop. What the people will feel is, the job is like this only, the data will be ready, we just need to drag and drop. But in the real time, the picture is, we need to prepare the data based on the requirement. We need to write an SQL query. So most of the times the data will be available, but most of the times, I will not guarantee, like for the sake of money, I will not say. So sometimes the data will not be ready in the required format. At that time, you are going to write your SQL query by performing a joins and creating a views and all those things, you are going to get the data. So you need to prepare the data if the data is not ready. Once the data is ready, load it into reporting tool and do a data model. So even a MicroStrategy, if you are using, there is a separate platform. Is there in MicroStrategy you have a cubes, SSRS you have a cubes, Power BI we have a cubes. So Tableau, I am not sure that there is a cubes concept, but for a reusable concept, we need to do a data modeling. Okay, so load the data into reporting tool and do a data model. And that tools, sometimes if your data is not coming from a SQL background, we need to do a transformations. Do your transformations if required. If required, tune the data. So then after tuning, data modeling will be done. After data modeling, create visualizations and customize. What do we mean by customize? Is nothing but like providing a background color, providing a fonts, enabling the data labels, everything. We are decorating it. Creating a visualization is nothing, but you need to make it attractive. That is the place where we are going to spend a lot of time, alignment and making them attractive. So customize it, and then after implement the security. Then after deploy it, share it, and automate the data flow. For any reporting tool, these are the maximum steps that you need to follow. The maximum steps that you need to follow are these things. Whatever the reporting tools, some reporting tools you don't need to construct a data model also. There are some reporting tools where you don't need to automate the data flow also. SSRS is there, or MicroStrategy is there. What it is going to happen, whenever you select a drop down, the values will be configured. Then after, the query will be hit the database and it is going to load the data. We used to call it as rendering. Okay. So whenever you interacted, yet that time the data will be loaded. So at that time, what is the need to automate the data? No need to automate the data. So just establish a connection. Whenever the user connects, it will hit the database, it will load the data. So there are the tools which might not require these things, but overall, it is the maximum steps for any reporting tool will have. You need to prepare the data, load the data, do a data model. If the data is not in a tunable like model format, you just need to convert it according to the requirement, model it, create a visualization, implement a security, then after deploy it and share it. These are the blind shots. Okay. So with respect to Power BI also, it is a generic any reporting thing. With a Power BI also, almost the same steps. Power BI also prepare the data, load it, do a transformations, create a visualization, implement a security, then after deploy it in a service, then after create a dashboard, then after share it, then after automate the data flow. So here also almost the same steps are there. Okay, so share it with content pack or app. But anyways, these like detailed things I don't want to highlight. So these are the steps for a Power BI also. If you want to say, boss, I know Power BI, means if you follow these things, this can be done in a 30 minutes of time, you can say that I know Power BI. So these are the steps for a Power BI developer need to follow to create a dashboard and share it with the user. Now, that is the default framework how you used to follow. There is a concept called best framework. The best framework, whatever the source it is, you need to follow this standard. So here, one second, we'll close in 10 minutes of time, just give me 1 second. So here there is a concept called best practice or best framework, which all the companies need to follow for their Power BI projects. That is nothing but whatever the source it is, you need to get the data in a SQL server or Azure SQL or Azure data warehouse. Here you are going to stage the data. Here whatever the required views or procedures will be created here. The transformations will be done here. If you have the data in Oracle, push the data from Oracle to SQL server here. All your fact tables or dimension tables, whatever you have, here you need to create your views or dimensions here. And then after, here you are going to perform a query, Power Query you are going to perform here. Then after, in SSRS, we are going to do a data model. Then after, with the help of a Power BI, we are performing a live connection with SSRS. This is the framework. Okay. They might ask you SSRS with MDX or multidimensional SSRS. That is nothing. That is a shit. Because they don't know, they are mentioning that one. Here, the tabular SSRS modeling and Power BI live connection will be used. So this is only the framework you need to understand. You might be a Power BI developer, you might be Power BI architect. So you need to understand that why we are using the data at SQL server, Azure SQL, Azure data warehouse, or why you are doing the data modeling at a tabular SSRS, and why you are using a Power BI live connection. If you have a justification for it, you can get the justification 30 minutes or 1 hour of a time. Then you can go and speak that, boss, I can work anywhere in the Power BI framework, or I can work on end-to-end of a Power BI model, you can say. Okay. So this is the best framework which we are going to have a discussion as part of our classes. A small project with this flow will be covered. And I have my experience that more than 100 plus people got their job by speaking only the flow implementation. By speaking only this one, no training institute will use that keyword. From my Power BI training, my first class onwards, till now, we used to explain flow implementation. From end-to-end flow implementation we'll cover. By speaking only that one, there are 100 plus people who got a job. So this is the framework which is required for everyone. Everyone required this one. We are going to cover. So that is the best framework. And the final things. the scope of Power BI and course outline, course details and scope, and next prerequisites. Any other expectations from your end? I want to hear. So the scope of Power BI, as I said, Power BI is a cloud-based visualization tool, and like all the equivalent, not only BI, Microsoft has launched all the tools as part of a cloud. So as I said, you have Azure Machine Learning is there, you have Azure IoT is there, Azure Stream Analytics is there, Azure Hive is there, Azure Data Lake is there. So there are a lot of tools which can work with the data are available on a cloud. What is a reporting tool for it? The Power BI. You can verify Azure Cosmos DB. What is the framework? Azure Data Warehouse. What is the framework? Azure Stream Analytics. What is the framework? You can verify. At the end, everyone will be redirected to Power BI as their reporting medium. So it's not only for SSRS replacement purpose Power BI, whatever the cloud-based technology which Microsoft is using, Power BI is the reporting medium. So here, if you learn a Power BI, that will be helpful to enter into the Microsoft platform with respect to cloud. Then after, you can keep, like based on your experience, as I said, like you might be like some people might be 5+ experience people might come to me like by learning a Power BI and wanted to become a Power BI developer. I am saying that, boss, Power BI is nothing. Power BI is just drag and drop. So there are the people, we are developing a people per month, we are sending 100 people outside. So like Power BI is nothing. So what you need to do is, we teach Power BI with SSAS and DAX, that is fine. That is, most of the companies require that only. They don't require advanced also, but there are the companies who can offer the best salaries which you are not expecting. For them, they require some keywords in resume. Azure Data Factory or Azure Data Lake, Azure Stream Analytics, Azure Hive, Azure Spark, Azure Cosmos DB. Okay, so just have an understanding 2 or 3 days of that one and keep that one in the resume, and you can go and you can crack it. Or if you join as a Power BI developer in a team, in a good team or a good company, there you have a visibility or a scope to come back towards these Azure products. Or if you want to learn Azure first and Power BI next, there are 1,000 products are there, you cannot learn anything. So once you enter into a Power BI developer, there you will have a chances to work on a Azure Data Warehouse, Data Factory, Data Lake next 10 years. That is the concept. Not even started now. There are very big companies are using. Small companies are not even started. They are working on a POCs only. And they are Googling it. In the Google there are no sources. For Azure Data Factory or Lake or whatever, we don't have any sources. So if you people like planning for your future for at least, let's assume, next 5 years or 10 years, yes, Power BI is one of the best thing which will help you to enter into the Microsoft cloud revolution. Thereafter we are going back, like we are going to work on a backward approach. So if your team working on Azure, you can select those tools and you can practice it, you can work on it, you can explore it. If not also, there are a lot of scope for the in order to showcase, or we will help you with Azure Data Factory and Lake, so you can get a job into that area and you can settle as a Azure Cloud Architect if you are having a 7+ experience. So that is what the scope for all Azure products. Power BI is the end tool. I am telling you that learn Power BI and go backward approach so that you will have a sufficient market in the demand. That is what is scope, and you don't require anything called MSBI, SSIS, SSRS, multidimensional, MDX. You don't require anything. Okay, if you know the basic skill, that is more than sufficient. Basic skill, if you know, that is more than sufficient. And the prerequisites, as I said, like the basic skill with respect to technical and infrastructure, it's a 64-bit operating system is required with the Windows 10 platform, or Windows 8 platform. 64-bit operating system is required. If you have this one, remaining things I will take care.
I will give the SQL Server, data tools, Visual Studio, whatever requires, I will give the softwares. From your end, the basic SQL, 64-bit operating system, Windows 10 or Windows 8 required. That is what the prerequisites. Whatever the technology you are, if your notice period is 30 days or immediate, or your notice period is 3 months, 4 months, your salary is very less, you can blindly come and join with the Power BI. You will be satisfied. Okay. So if your notice period is more than 1 month and your salary is also into 2 or into more than 2 point something, and you are looking for a job switch, it is a bit risky thing. Okay. So you can learn it, but you might not get a proper calls. But into 3 you can expect in the market at this point of time. Into 3 and more than 3 also. So that is what the prerequisites. And regarding the course, what I am going to cover is, so this course is dedicated for the Power BI project. So as part of it, what we are going to cover is the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, Power BI mobile, Power BI report server, Power BI report server, and Power BI project implementation. Implementation will be covered, and embedding, like we'll showcase the embedding as part of Power BI service. So these are the things we are going to cover, and Azure data warehouse, data lake, data factory introduction will be covered. And the minimum expectation that you can keep here is you will get to an understanding that why these things, how to use these things, and how to create in Azure. Everything you will get to know. You must be in a position to speak regarding these things. Okay, like 3 to 4 days of class we are going to have, and you will be having a good knowledge. Even if you spend like 1 week or 10 days of time on a YouTube or anywhere, how much you can get, that much knowledge you can get it here. That is more than sufficient to crack any interview. So these things we are going to cover, and the duration is 25 hours.